Alright, so I'm not somebody who usually goes to places that are like well known for photo taking opportunities. I usually like to be away from people, so that makes this story of this photo a little bit different than most of the photos that you've seen me post. One day I decided that I was gonna go out to Mount Baker to shoot the Milky Way, as I like to do pretty often. And I was looking at what the weather was going to be like, and it was hit or miss. So I decided I'd look up, see what it's going to be like at Mount St. Helens. Now, I wanted to do a shoot at Mount St. Helens for a really long time. There's a place called, I think, Castle Rock Viewpoint. It's something like that. And I decided I wanted to go do that. Weather was also hit or miss down there, but I figured if I was going to go for it, I was going to really go for it. So I get driving. It's about a 4-hour drive down from where I live, and so I finally get there, and by now it's dark, and I've been able to see the Milky Way as I'm driving, so I knew that was going to be a good night for astrophotography. I finally get to the spot, pull into the parking lot, and I see a few other cars there, and start to get my stuff out, get ready to go, camera on the tripod, because I like to put everything together before I get out into the dark. It's a lot easier when you have light, turns out. So I get out of my car, get my stuff together, and I start walking. Now, I start to see something that's a little bit different than what I would normally see on an astrophotography shoot. Something that I didn't understand when I first saw it. I see a bunch of red lights as I'm getting outside the parking lot. I'm just walking around. I don't know where I'm going. I see all these red lights, and I don't know what that means. And so I get a little bit closer, and when I was probably about 15 feet away from all the lights, I realized that every single red light was an open shutter light on a camera. And in a mix of shock and horror, I realized that every single one of these red lights is a person there. So there's somewhere between 15 to 20 people there to take the exact same photo as I'm also there to take. And while that was annoying, the shot was so good that I couldn't really complain. So I get my stuff set up and start taking pictures. What I did was, I just took 10 shots in a sequence, and then later stack them together. Just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, just with my eyes, let alone a camera. And something that was cool to experience, even though there were other people all around me. So I drove 4 hours to get there. I wasn't going to drive back in the same night, so back then I had my old Honda Accord that I could flip the seats down and put a mattress in the back and sleep with my head right under the back window. And I can still remember just falling asleep looking up at the Milky Way right above my head. It was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had while I was falling asleep. Then I wake up the next morning in my car and just see the sun lighting up all these clouds above me, this bright pink color. Most of the people are gone now. A few other people camped in their cars like I did. And I walked around just blown away by the scenery and seeing the mountain in the light for the first time, because I had never seen Mount St. Helens before in the light. And that's when I took the photo that was the foreground for this photo. And I just set my camera in the same spot, took a few pictures, and then darkened them to match the scenery. Because the sun hadn't fully risen yet, so it was still flat enough to work. And then mix those two together to create the image that became my favorite nature photo that I've ever taken. So that's the story of my Mount St. Helens Milky Way photo, and I hope to go back this next year and take some more.